Hi everyone, and welcome to my next video in the Bayonetta series on the Xbox 360. This is Chapter 7, and this is where you face off against the second major boss in the game, Temperance. So it starts off with this pretty cool cutscene, and here he comes. He looks very familiar from earlier. I can't remember what chapter he appeared in. I think it was the one where you get the Beast Within mode, which was 2 chapters ago. Here's his introduction. Bayonetta dropping an F-bomb. She doesn't really curse that much in this game, which is good. But so when she does, I think it's rather significant. So he thinks he took care of her, but no, she's flying on this stone creature. So this cutscene goes on for a little bit. Now, something that I had started talking about in the last video was, the violence and the sexual content of this game and whether it was appropriate. I mentioned in a video from earlier this week that I think that is, to a certain extent, in the eye of the beholder. Something that's going to offend one isn't going to offend another. But as a video game developer, I think the question you have to ask yourself is, why is this in the game? Are we putting this stuff in the game to satisfy ourselves, or to somehow make a statement, or just to create controversy and buzz? And the only person who knows that is, the only people that know that are the people that made the game. And so, unless they say, explicitly why they did certain things, the rest of it is just sort of assumptions on the player's part. So, I have my own thoughts on it, but I tend not to say too much about it unless I am responding directly to something that the developer or publisher said. So, yeah. Anyway, getting back to this boss battle, this one was actually pretty confusing at times, and so a lot of these parts here involve quick time events where you have to jump from platform to platform and through this truck at Temperance, jump back and do more damage. So you hit his hand, and then you, I think, eventually evade after you take care of these things. So you have to get rid of the red pods on the fingers. And something that I should have paid attention to right there was that I was still able to damage his hand after I had destroyed those electric pods. A little later, and I cut all of that out. Later in this stage, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I would do the jumps, and I would throw the tanker at him, and I would jump back. And I had forgotten that I needed to attack the fingers. But there's no real indicator on them that you can damage them. I guess unless you swing at them and attack them, you'll know. But I guess I just wasn't paying attention, so I take full responsibility for that blunder. I mean, I seriously tried 20 plus times, and finally, through just a blind luck, I guess, I had swung my sword and I hit the finger of the hand that was holding the platform, and I'm like, oh shoot, I can do damage to it. And so I did that, and that finally triggered the evade QuickTime event, and so I was able to take care of his second arm. So the first arm right there, you have to evade and you jump on it and you climb up it. I had just talked about Shadow of the Colossus in my last video, and that's kind of similar. You have to scale the arm and then destroy the red pod at the top. So here's where I take care of his other hand and then evade and then jump up and take care of that second one. So he shakes his hand, punches you, you evade right here, and you go up. And I turn on beast mode and run up the arm really quickly. That's a really cool power. I think that's a great thing to cover distances or long distances in a short amount of time. So here you go. You take out the second arm, and then the next section where you actually have to take out the red pods on his actual body. This felt very much like Super Mario Galaxy to me. So here you are, you're kind of walking on the surface and you have to take care of these. It just looks like Super Mario Galaxy, maybe a little darker, but very, very similar. And so you go around the body and you take care of these 2 or 3 power sources, and that will take the shield off the head, and then you run around the head up here and he has various attacks at you. And this is the one that you can dodge, that laser, to enter witch time and do some real massive damage to him. It's pretty gruesome, just the way the chunks of the head come off and expose the inside. Just really nice design and very good animation. And so this is where you do the final... I don't get the full combo on it either, but the final climax and him smash his face in, and then this kind of bloody mess comes out and just hangs there limp. So you jump down, and that's it. And I left the closing cutscene in this just because it is kind of ridiculous and funny, and there's a bit of a, for those who have seen The Money Pit, a certain thing that happens here will stand out as quite similar. So you throw that at him. Tanker and a giant piece of concrete lands on him. She puts the statue, the peeing statue, on the tanker. And yeah, it kind of closes things out here. And this very much feels like a 80s or 90s action movie. Just the absurdity of it all is just kind of funny. So she sparks it, and they kind of play a little trick, turns it off, and of course she's not going to be satisfied with that. Ouch. Yep, it goes up in the air. It's funny. And then the demons or whatever take Temperance to hell, I guess. And so I believe this is going to lead towards maybe the second half or the final arc of the game. It's what it's feeling like. And she has some flashbacks here, and then a familiar face will show herself. So anyway, this boss battle I didn't think was as intuitive as it could have been. It's very satisfying to watch, and I'm sure on subsequent playthroughs it will be a lot of fun and much smoother than it was here. Anyway, that is the boss fight with Temperance. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.